俺の財宝か？欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ！この世の全てをそこに置いてきた。
Yo guys, and welcome to this new video. Now this chapter was just incredible. Was simply the expression of how an author should always try to bring the potential of his series beyond its limits. Of how a mangaka should always try to exploit the possibilities given by his own creation to express them in the best way possible. But before analyzing in detail this amazing way in which Tabata treated the character of Charmy, I want to say that I'm trying to publish a new video every day, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to immediately know when I upload something new. Alright, with that said, let's jump straight into it. First, let me spend a couple of words talking about Lil Zelf counterpart, and in particular on the attitude he shows in this chapter, which is identical to that the Magic Knight captain had before he joined the Magic Knights. That feeling of not being completely satisfied with the paintings, so with his art, if it doesn't meet his own standards of beauty. But since around him he can't find an inspiration that is up to the task, he always remains in this feeling of disappointment caused by the impossibility to find someone at the same level of his talent, and so that would allow it to be fully expressed. So, as happened before with Luck and Gauche, the elf chose to share not only his magic but also traits of his personality with the human he possesses. And this suits with the idea that the type of magic a person acquires depends on his nature. And so if the elves and the humans have the same type of magic, this means they should also have a similar nature. And another expression of this concept is the gluttony side of Charmy's personality giving shape to her magic exactly in this chapter. Now, the contrast between the wolf and the sheep, with the wolf disguised as a sheep, and everything that this implies and contains in terms of substantiality about her personality and her magic, was, in my opinion, just genius. This is because everything we saw about her spells up to this point completely suited her character. They suited the fact she likes to eat, and they suited the fact she becomes incredibly angry when someone treats food badly. So for this reason, nothing could have made us even think she could have another side of her magic. However, the moment we discovered what this new side consists of, it starts to give the impression of something we should have expected from Hera, for how she always demonstrated to be from the very beginning, of something that it is impossible to imagine Charmy without. And this is the greatness of this evolution, the way it is done without making it look like an evolution at all. Instead, making it look like something we should have always expected from her character. In this way, instead of giving the impression of her acquiring a new, stronger power, it gives the impression of just her exploiting at the full potential her own power, the one she of course had. This is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to do a power-up in a series, because it focuses on the main characteristic of the character that are explored in more detail and with more profoundness, or with the character learning to exploit them. But this wolf power is amazing also for another reason. Indeed, it allows again to see how in Black Clover, even if it's true that some characters have, you could say, a greater reservoir of mana they can use, or some characters are capable of using mana better than others. All these aspects, which create a sort of gap in mana potential, a gap in the magic power a person can express, doesn't influence the outcome of a battle. Differently from other series, even famous ones like, for example, Dragon Ball Z, where the greater the key, the stronger the character, and that's it. There is not that much of technique involved. Indeed, in Black Clover it doesn't really matter how much powerful a spell is. Yes, of course it helps, but there is always a way to come through, there is always a way to find the weak point and to exploit it to achieve victory, no matter how lower your mana is, no matter how less powerful your spells are. Asta wins without magic at all. The Black Boots were capable to defeat Dorothy Onsworth in that dream space where she was virtually invincible. Partly defeated Nova Chrono by using the fact he was the Magic Emperor, so attacking the people of the country, and there are many examples of that. And this is one of, in my opinion, the basic elements to consider a manga series great, because it makes the battles, which are one of the main elements of a shonen, incredibly solid without stretches. And in this sense, the ability of Charmy's wolf to eat magic is a great example, because even if it is an incredibly simple skill, it can possibly contrast every spell, no matter how powerful, resembling a bit Asa's capability to cut through magic, but just like the protagonist's swords, this spell is not overpowered at all. You can find a lot of weak points, just like it happens with Asta, which is the very reason why Asta cannot win a real battle without using his magic of never giving up, because he's weak to range attacks, he's weak to attacks from multiple directions, he's weak to spells that doesn't hit directly, he's weak to a lot of stuff. The same with Charmy, she is probably weak in that wolf form to melee combat, for example. This is the first thing that comes in mind, but she could also be weak to the eye magic that belongs to Gauche's sister we saw just the battle before this one, so no matter what, everything always looks balanced. And if we add to that the fact each character fights according to traits of his or her personality, the overall result is just an incredible shonen with many possibilities and a lot of unpredictability. Moreover, I always appreciate contrasts within a character personality, because it makes it more profound and it gives it more options in terms of evolution. For this reason I enjoyed a lot the wolf disguised as a sheep. What's more, all of that also allowed us to discover the existence of dwarves, most likely the race which will be at the center of the next events of the plot after this elves arc, or at least something that will certainly be involved in the future, so gives much more options to the series, also in the way in which it opens the possibility of even more new different races. And another way in which Tabata's work is showing its great potential is how he introduced this new race, connecting it with an aspect of Charmy's character that we always thought was a sort of gag, but that instead unexpectedly became a key element for the plot. To conclude, the fact a half-breed possesses two types of magic is not that surprising, but it's very interesting. The last observation I want to make is that even if we can't know for now the color of the dark side of Charmy's grimoire, the fact it was colored black and the fact the wolf seems to have his own identity and consciousness makes it resemble a lot with Asa's demon, with Asa's grimoire. And there could be a connection between the two, they could be demons related somehow. So overall, this chapter is one of those that in my opinion really showed how much this manga is worth to be read. And until the next, hopefully as amazing as this one, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to leave a like and make sure to subscribe. Then see you next time. Jane!